What's up guys, today we're gonna do an advanced weapon tier list. So, we've done a tier list before, as many of you guys might know, but that was in the past. Now we have way more info, we know exact damage numbers on tools, weapons, skills, and so goes on and so goes forth. Now make sure to go check out my other YouTube videos where we go specifically into every single weapon's damage number, skills, and tools. I've got 3 different videos for that, so if you guys are interested, make sure to check that out. Anyways, for the tier list, let's get this started. So we're gonna start off with the hunter. My problem with the hunter is that it, like in terms of DPS wise, it doesn't do as much damage as the others in specific builds. Now it's a very flexible weapon because it has 2-2-2 build, which is 2 reds, 2 yellows, 2 blues. So you can pretty much run whatever you want with this. But once again, the DPS is better than some. I wouldn't put it in A tier though. Maybe like, I think I would put it, okay, I think I'll put it in B for now, but it might move up to an A later. There's obviously very specific reasons for this, but I just think, so the passive it has when you do consecutive hits, it buffs you up. It doesn't buff you up by that much. It's like a 26 and then the other one is like 36 and then you lose it after a hit. I think the fact that you instantly lose it after you get hit is just very like, it's hit or miss, you know? It's not very consistent unless you're like a crazy good player that just dodges everything. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna just put it at B because it has no special niches. Alright, we're gonna move on to the Wanderer's Crest. Now, this is just straight up facts. The Wanderer Crest is probably, it's SS plus, I think. The reason why is because this weapon has the highest DPS in the game, and you can make a really good build with it very early on. Now, there's one problem with this crest, is that its attack range. That's the only problem I have with this crest. But later into the game, you can upgrade it with Long Claw. After you do that, you're kind of set. But early on to the game, I would say I'd put the Wonder early build. I would put it at like A-ish. I think I'd put the Wonder early build A, and then late game I'll put it SS plus. Because early game, this is really good. But just know, I would put Wonder there if it was early game. But for now, if we're gonna talk overall DPS size, it's SSS. Alright, let's go into the Reaper Crest. Alright, Reaper Crest, now this is the problem. Before I put it SS plus. Now I thought this weapon was good. We all thought it did more damage than all the other weapons because it specifies heavy attack in its description. And we all thought it did more damage. But it doesn't. It does the exact same damage as the Wanderer, which attacks 3 times faster. But the Reaper does have its advantages, like it has long range. It's a very passive playstyle, and the ability when you heal regenerates silk when you hit the enemy. So the Reaper is really good, but I've gotta put it with the Hunter. I think the Hunter is slightly better as well because this is just like very fast DPS weapon. They both run 2-2-2 builds, which is also really good. Oh yeah, another downside for the Wanderer is that it has a 1-2-3 build, but that's completely fine because the DPS on it is insane. Alright, next up we have the Beast Crest. Alright, now this one, a lot of people love this. I also love this weapon. But guys, we've gotta be honest. This crest has only one build that's viable. It has one singular build that's viable, and that's Flint Slate with Brew. That's it. You can't run anything else with this, and it just becomes useless. Not having any blue slots also nerfs this by so much. But the Fury does increase its DPS to be like one of the highest DPSing weapons. But when you lose out on 2 blue slots, and when you're forced to do a specific build just for this weapon, just because of the versatility, I have to put it at like C tier. I just can't. This weapon has only one build that's actually good. And if we're talking about that one build, I'll move it up to like B tier, but because it doesn't have any blue tools, I'm putting it at C. The weapon is really good though. It's really fun to use. I love this weapon. It just sucks to me that I have to put it here. It really does. But I've gotta. The other weapons are just much better because they have better down pogos, they have better heavy attacks, etc. They're just better. Alright, moving on to the Witch's Crest. Alright, the Witch Crest is actually crazy. The build you can do with this is so fun, but it's a little bit of a late game weapon where you have to have a very specified build for it. Also, you do get this somewhat late game as well. You can get this around Act 2, so I wouldn't say it's super late game, it's like mid game-ish. But the damage numbers are good. The down pogo is actually bad. It doesn't do double ticks of damage. It halves the damage. So instead of doing like 13 damage, it will do like 6, 7. So, but the build with this is really fun with the exploding mirror. I would put this at A tier. I think the weapon is good, but Wonder is just so much, like it just has so much more DPS in terms of just raw stats. This is really good for like healing suicide bombs. It's really fun. So I put this at A tier. I would put this SS, but I mean Wonder just at its own league when it comes to DPS. Shaman Crest. This is insane. Last time I put this at like B or C because I didn't know how it works, but the way it works is this weapon buffs all your silk skills by 50%, and combined with regenerative silk tools like the blue ones here, where it regens your silk, you can have infinite amount of spells for as much as you want, and it will just infinitely regen the skills. And this weapon is actually insane. If you compare it, if you build it with a what is it called? With a threat storm, this becomes insane. Threat Storm and Rune Rage, actually both of them work just as fine. Rune Rage and they're both insane. It becomes one of the most highest DPS weapons in the game, straight up. It's insane. Also, it allows you to play a super safe playstyle until you get your silk for the spells. So I'm putting this at SSS plus. Actually, I might put this over the Wonder. Yeah, just because of the way the playstyle difference between these two. This one is more aggressive, so it lets you die more and shorter range. This one has longer range and insane amount of DPS with insane amount of safe playstyle. That's why I'm putting it SS+. Let's move on to the Architect and last weapon of this video. Once again, this has its own niche, just like these two. Now, Shaman has its magic niche, Wonder is just a DPS warrior, and Architect is a tool warrior. It's absolutely insane when it comes to tool builds. Also, with further testing, we've gone to notice that the heavy attack is insane paired with Flint Slate. The heavy attack does so much damage with this, it's kind of insane. Now, let me just go over the whole list one more time. Now, if you get the Architect early game, I would put it at like D tier, because personally, I ended up rushing getting Architect Crest, so I got it mid to early game. So when you don't have tools to use this, it just becomes D tier. I think it's so hard to actually hit anything with it. Even like especially air units, it's so hard to hit air units with it, unless you have like a crazy build, of course. But early game, I'm putting this D tier. It sucks. Other than that, once you get all the builds ready, it becomes a freaking warrior, bro. With the ability to be able to recharge the tools, it's just insane. So, I think this will be my complete advanced tier list. I think this is really accurate when it comes to damage numbers and potential builds. This all makes sense to me. You've got a magic build, you've got a crazy DPS build, you've got one of the most versatile tools build right here. Witch Crest has its own crazy healing bomb build, and the heavy attack is also really nice with Flint Slate actually. I wouldn't really use it that much though, but I would mainly just build up my healing. Heavy attack doesn't build up silk, unfortunately, that's why I think it's kind of like a nicer hit. Hunter Crest, it's good, like don't mind me, it's good, but just it has no niche, it has nothing crazy going on for it, and I think its passive isn't even that good, like genuinely. Reaper is really good, but the fact that it does the same amount of damage and it attacks so slow, just because of the DPS difference, I've gotta put it at B. But the down pogo is really good compared to the hunter. I mean, the hunter down pogo is also good if you get used to it. The beast, I mean, I hate putting this here, but it's gotta go here. It has no builds. It has one specific build, and that's it. Anyways, I think that's the build. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think this is the best tier list that I can probably think of and come up with when it comes to specific builds and damage numbers. Once again, I've mentioned all the reasons of why I think this is the best right here and the best in slot. They all have insane DPSs up in the SS tiers. In the A tier, it has, you know, its own specific build. Especially with all the videos that I've made, we've made videos about all the quests, builds for all of them. We've made multiple test damage numbers on all of them. So if you guys are interested in true damage numbers, make sure to check out my videos as they give a lot of info, especially my newest ones. They're kind of insane when it comes to showing off damage numbers for tools, for crests, and etc. and skills especially. Alright, anyways, I really appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this advanced tier list. This will be my final stand. I stand by these. Let me know what you guys think in the comments though, if you guys disagree or agree. But I think this is the best tier list you can probably come up with at the moment, hands down.